Hey everyone, this is Kevin Payne, aka Kevin the Conqueror on Instagram, your favorite motorcycle vlogger. And it's a beautiful day today. I think it's Thursday. I'm not sure. This COVID-19 has my days running into each other. And I'm just working from home and being self-employed. Kind of lose track of the days. But anyway, I want to talk about manifestation. And I know a lot of people talk about this, and everybody has their different views on what manifestation is and their own understandings, but I really think that I'm living proof of manifestation. And the reason why I say that is because I never, even from a young age, I used to always think that, you know, I was meant for something more. Growing up in the hood, growing up in the projects of Mattapan, I don't know, anybody from Boston knows about Mattapan, Dorchester, Roxbury. Anyway, I grew up in the Mattapan, Morton Street, Gallivan, whatever, housing projects. And even from that age, like I said, I just knew that I was meant for something more, you know. I just knew I was meant to live a good life. And I just always had that feeling. And I don't know, I'm gonna actually swing by my old neighborhood so you guys can see where I grew up. You know, and it's so important to always realize that you don't have to become a product of your environment. You don't have to be a victim of circumstance. And your mindset and what you think about actually will manifest into reality. For instance, back in, I would say 2007, I had this idea of, how you doing? I had this idea of starting a very high-end blog about Boston luxury, and I called it Lux Boston. And this is as a result of me reading The Secret. I'm sure a lot of you guys know about The Secret and the book and the movie and all that stuff, and I know it sounds corny, but that book actually opened me up to deeper things, deeper esoteric knowledge. But let me just start from the beginning. So I read The Secret, and it was basically about your thoughts become action and what you think about and blah blah blah. And I thought it was kind of corny at first, and I was like, you know what, I'm gonna test this theory. I'm gonna put this theory to test and see if it actually works. So I don't know where I came up with this idea, but I came up with the idea to start luxboston.com, luxboston.com. And basically, in a nutshell, what Lux Boston was is just spotlighting Boston's best luxury establishments, luxury products and services, you know, because there was no centralized location online or anywhere else that really just had Boston shine, put Boston on the map as far as a luxury city, or a city that had so many different luxury hotels and the dealerships and all that stuff. So I didn't even do research about it. It was just something that just came to my mind naturally. So it was like, you know what? It's a Harley Davidson. It's a Harley Davidson. Yeah. It's a 2019 Fat Bob. They only had this Motovlog for about 3 years now. But I love this bike, man. It's a good bike. It got power, but it handles like a sport bike.
Oh, okay.
It's a really good bike.
Still got that Harley motor.
Yeah, definitely.
It's tight, man.
Definitely. Thank you, man. I gotta put some pipes on it though.
Oh, 'cause it don't sound like a Harley.
No, I gotta put the louder pipes. The factory Harleys are quiet now. You know, they just want to upsell you. Thank you, brother. Appreciate it. Yeah, I get a lot of compliments on this bike. People always stopping me, asking me what type of bike this is, and I'll actually I'll get off of it and show you guys what it looks like for those of you that do not know what the 2019 Fat Bob looks like. But anyway, I started manifesting things and this Lux Boston just came in my head, and I didn't do any research. I just put it out there to the universe. I'm like, I'm gonna test this secret stuff. And so I found, you know, I did research. I mean, I did some due diligence as far as a domain name and how to incorporate a business and all that other good stuff. And I was like, you know what? I like the word Lux, L-U-X. Lux is actually, it's the Latin word for light, like the literal Latin word for light. And it's also short for luxury. So I'm like, you know what? I really love this word Lux. So I was like, yeah, I'm going to start Lux Boston. To my amazement, Lux Boston was available on GoDaddy.com. So I actually, I registered the domain. I did my research on certain different platforms that I can host my website. Joomla was one. I think I actually started Lux Boston on Joomla platform. Joomla, I used Joomla for a couple of years, and then I decided to use WordPress. WordPress was much easier. So anyway, I was like, man, I want to do some events. And mind you, I've never done this stuff before. I don't know where it came from. Like I said, I'm from the hood. I'm from Mattapan. I was never really around luxury things like that. I didn't grow up with a silver spoon in my mouth. So I've always loved Aston Martin cars, primarily because of 007. But anyway, I was looking up all the dealerships. Ernie Bach owned the Ferrari dealership, Ferrari, Maserati. And then Aston Martin and Waltham. So I ended up going to Aston Martin. I walked right into Aston Martin, and I got lucky that day because the ex-vice president of Aston Martin North America was there that day. His name is John Walton, really nice guy from London. And I told him what I was doing. I introduced myself to him, and he was a really nice guy. And I said, hey, I have this website spotlighting Boston's luxury products and services and establishments, and we would love to do an event with you guys. And this is all off the top of my head. I had no idea where these words were coming from. And so John was like, yeah, he was like, sure, what dates were you thinking? And I was like, you know, early spring. So he gave me his card and his contact information, and I gave him my card. I had some cards made, some Lux Boston cards that I spent a lot of money for because I really, you know, first impressions are everything. And so we exchanged cards and information and got the logistics together, and I honestly didn't even know where I was going to host this event. So, you know, I started doing more research about, you know, where I can host this event, potentially. And I found this company called Mars Made on Harrison Avenue in Boston. And years ago, Harrison Avenue used to be run down, but they actually started kind of like an art block over there with a lot of art galleries and stuff. So I went to go check it out, and I found this company, which was a young company called Mars Made. And they made high-end pool tables and foosball tables and stuff made of, high-end materials like aluminum and carbon fiber and stuff like that. I'm actually going to take you guys to where I grew up. I'm passing through Mattapan Square now. But anyway, I approached these guys and I told them what I wanted to do, and they were all for it, because a lot of these companies, I told them that I have a good amount of a nice demographic, a high net worth demographic, which I didn't at the time, and that I could get them exposure. And they were all for it. They were excited. So what I did is I paired up Aston Martin with Mars Made. And outside of Mars Made, I mean, the facility was really nice. It was like all old factory, like loft style buildings and stuff like that, which were really, really nice, aesthetically appealing to the eyes. And so we set a date. Aston Martin came through with a couple of Aston Martins and a few Lotus, because it's actually Aston Martin of New England Lotus Motorsport, something like that. But it's Aston Martin and Lotus. So they brought a few Aston Martins and a few of their latest model of Lotus vehicles. And I contacted a couple of local restaurants, and they brought pasta hors d'oeuvres around, and I invited some people that really connected and told them to bring some connected people, and the event was really cool. It turned out to be a really cool event. And this was all just because I was so ignorant and naive. I didn't doubt myself. So I made it happen, and the event was good, and that was my first event on my portfolio. So my second event, I actually contacted the Lenox Hotel on Exeter Street in Boston, off of Boylston, which is a luxury boutique hotel, very high end. And I did the same thing. I contacted those guys, and we set a date. And I did it with Aston Martin, and Aston Martin brought down they brought about 5 or 6 cars down this time. And we had about 200 people there at the Lenox Hotel, and they had city table, do all the food, and this is where I grew up. So I'm gonna just pause on the manifestation part. So Gallivan Boulevard Apartments is where I grew up. I'm gonna actually go around the block and show you guys exactly where. And this neighborhood used to be, oh man, it used to be terrible. I've witnessed death at a young age, because there used to be a lot of shootings, and anytime, unfortunately, when you live in a low-income area, you're gonna have people acting up and just unsavory things happening and stuff. But I've seen people drop. So this is Woodgate Street. Oh, this is my elementary school. This is Woodgate Street right here. I used to live in number 38. Man, this place brings back some memories. That's 28, it's 30. Oh, this is my next door neighbors used to live there. So this is 38. I grew up on the right side right here of this place. Yeah. Really nice apartments though. Not really nice apartments, but put it this way, the people were nice. Just really good memories growing up around here. I'm gonna take you guys to my old elementary school, and then I'll get back to talking about these events in manifestation. what these guys gonna do. It's a mess over here. So I went to the Charles H. Taylor Elementary School. Which is right here. I used to get beat up walking home from here up the street. Oh man, there was a couple of guys that lived on the end of my street. And I used to have to walk through backyards to avoid these guys. They used to beat me up. Alright, but anyway, you guys saw where I grew up and where I went to my elementary school. But anyway, so my second event was with Aston Martin and the Lenox Hotel, and everything just kept getting better and better. You know, it just worked. It just worked, but I didn't want to stop. You know, it just felt like I grew out of Boston. I did a couple of other events inside of Boston, but I started growing out of Boston, and I'm like, you know, I want to do something on a global scale. So I ended up buying all the Lux domains. I bought Lux Boston, Lux Florida, Lux, what is it, Lux Miami? I can't remember, and I'm like, oh man, I used to live in Florida, so I did a few events down in Florida as well. But I just wanted to do something more, so I ended up doing, calling my company Lux Expose, which is the illumination of luxury. So, you know, expose is just a revealing or to expose something. So I wanted to expose the luxury lifestyle. And that's exactly what I did. So I expanded the company. I mean, I had so many hiccups and losses along the way, and it was crazy. I wouldn't have enough time to explain to you all the things that I went through during my time developing these companies. It was just unreal. Maybe that'll be a vlog or video for another day, but you have to be resilient. You have to be extremely resilient, and you have to be kind of ignorant to failure. And you're gonna fail, but you don't really fail until you give up. I've never given up, so I'm still pushing with Lux Expose. And like I said, I wanted to do things bigger and better, and I've always wanted to do like a hangar event. And what I mean by hangar is aircraft hangar. So I contacted Ernie Bach Jr., who's a billionaire. He's a local New England billionaire, and really cool dude. A lot of people think he's, you know, it doesn't really matter what other people think, but I thought he was a cool dude. And I went to him, and I wrote out a proposal and everything, and I told him that I wanted to do an event with him, etc., etc., a luxury event. And I explained to him that I wanted to showcase at least 20 luxury brands that are local for Boston, New England, to get exposure to a high net worth demographic. And so I wanted to do the event with him, but he said, you know, obviously he didn't know me from a hole in the wall, so he was a little skeptical about doing an event directly with me. So he said, you know what, you can rent the hangar for a day for a specified amount, which was very, very high, but I agreed anyway. I could have haggled him, or I could have just, you know, been like, you know what, can we do it for this much? But no, I just said okay. I didn't know how the hell I was gonna come up with that type of money, but I ended up coming up with the money. I ended up having 20 plus luxury companies that actually paid for booth space inside Ernie Bach Jr.'s hangar. And the event was amazing. I had no idea what the hell I was doing. We had a fashion show. We even had models, you know, coming off of his private jet. The private jet was you know, just taxiing down the runway. It spun around in front of the hangar, and then the models got off. And then they walked inside the hangar onto the catwalk to showcase the clothes. I think we had BCBG and Ellie Tahari. And it was an amazing event. I don't think anything has ever happened like that in this area. And this kid from Mattapan was the one that pulled it off, you know, with help from some of my closest friends. And, wow. Even just thinking about that makes me a little emotional because it almost never happened. That event, it was so nerve-wracking that I thought I was going to die from a heart attack. Because I made so many promises that I had to keep. And I came through with it, you know. And the event was amazing. And so I just kept it going. And then that is why I feel like manifestation works. And now I still have my businesses, and I've been a photographer for a long time. I've been a photographer for wow, it's been over 15 years. And then one day, you know, I got an email. I never check my photography email. It's been a while since I've checked my photography email. I decided to check it, and I got an email from Puma. And Puma wanted me to do, you know, some freelance photography work for them, and they pay really good money. So I was like, hell yeah, work for a big brand like Puma, not a problem. So I've been doing a lot of stuff for Puma, and during this COVID, it's like everything, customers, you know, shopping online. And so, you know, because a lot of the stores were closed down, so in order for these brands to thrive, you got to have the product pictures online so they can see them and buy them and purchase them. And so during this COVID, I've been blessed because a lot of people have been out of work. And I'm not bragging, you know, I realize that I'm truly blessed, but I've been getting so much work from these guys. It's like I can't even keep up. But I've been doing the best I can. I've been working 80 hours a week, you know, and just kind of making it happen. But I'm telling you guys, believe in yourself. If you have a dream, if you have goals, it doesn't matter. You gotta execute them. You can't let anybody distract you. Your friends, your family, your girlfriend, boyfriend, husband, wife. You gotta push those goals. You know, you gotta push those goals through. Cause I'm gonna be the first one to tell you that it works. You just gotta make it happen by any means necessary. So I'm kind of coasting through Boston. That used to be Mattapan's finest car wash, but it changed owners. But to me, it'll always be Mattapan's finest. Thanks for letting me go, fool. He's looking at me, but I'm not letting him go. You gotta be so careful on motorcycles. You have to have eyes in the back of your head. Boston's finest right there. But anyway, stick to those dreams, stick to those goals. Don't let nobody tell you anything different, and just make it happen. If I can do it, trust me, you could do it. You're gonna have a lot of blood, sweat, and tears with anything that you really want to do. But the alternative is to live a average life, and who wants to live an average life? Not me. I was never meant to live an average life. But it don't come easy. Gotta work hard for it, like anything else in life. Gotta work hard. I'm gonna drive up a little ways and I'm gonna show you guys this bike, and then I'm gonna conclude this motorcycle vlog. But before I even do that, I want to just... I'm in Mattapan Square right now. But I want to discuss about your thoughts. Your thoughts are very important. Try to be aware at all times what you're thinking about the most and how you are feeling. I can't stress how important that is. And I see a lot of people on social media constantly posting negative things. And I know as a man of color that racism is like the elephant in the room. It's like, it's terrible. And I've dealt with racism, and I still deal with racism, and I'll continue to deal with racism until the day that I die. But do I let it affect me to that point where it stops my productivity? Hell no. Hell no. Because I don't care what color you are. You can't tell me that you're better than me. You can't tell me you're better than me just because your color is light, or your color is dark, or you're lighter skinned than I am. You can't tell me. And I'm not trying to be ignorant or boasting about myself, but the things that I've accomplished in my life, and as hard as I work, you can't just simply tell me, hey, I'm better than you because of my skin tone. That ain't gonna fly with me. You can't intimidate me either. But anyway, you got to be careful what you're posting on social media, because if you're only posting about drama and riots and BLM, Black Lives Matter and all this, I mean, I respect everybody and everybody's opinions and blah blah blah. Put it this way, I respect you until you stop respecting me. Once you stop respecting me, then it's a whole different story. But try for a week to post positive things. Do some research about manifestation and the origins of manifestation. Do your research. Figure it out. Find those positive quotes, you know, because you're not only helping yourself, but you're helping your family and friends that are on your social media. Because if all they see is drama, like world star drama and people fighting and... oh man, what about those people that are always posting fights and negative crap all over their social media? I delete those people because I don't want to see that. I want to see stuff that's going to make me feel good, you know? I want to see stuff that I'm like, oh wow, you know, that's a nice meme, you know? A nice quote, like a Bruce Lee quote or something like that, you know? But if I'm always seeing some fighting and drama and BS, it's like, I don't want to be your friend anymore. It's like you wouldn't invite anybody into your house. Your social media platform, as light as you might take it, is like your house. You wouldn't allow people with muddy, dirty shoes walk on your bed, right? So why would you allow people that just are negative all the time to just mess with your brain? Because your brain is eating this information and it stays with you. Your brain never forgets anything. Your subconscious is very, very powerful. People don't realize how powerful their subconscious is. And it's like whatever you're feeding it, you might not think you're thinking about it the next day, but it's there. And it's going to affect you. It's like ripples in a pond or ripples in a lake. That stuff comes back to you. That stuff comes back to you, trust me. But I'm gonna pull over and let you guys see this beast, which, again, I need to put some pipes on it because she's not loud enough. So I'm gonna pull over right here before my time is up with this recording. And do a nice walkthrough. Or walk around, rather. So that's the 2019 Harley Davidson Fat Bob 114. Wow, I really love this bike. Such a nice investment. And the reason why I say investment is because Harleys tend to hold on to their value a little longer than sport bikes do. And you can upgrade the hell out of these things. Change the pipes, change the air filter. You could give it a stage 1, stage 2, stage 3, or stage 4 upgrade. Adds more horsepower to the bike. But that's her.